All right, so this video that we're going to look at is primarily going to focus on cost of goods manufactured, but we got a couple little questions up here at the top dealing with period costs. So let's go ahead and do those. This will be especially helpful if you happen to be in one of my classes. If you're not, well, you can look at it anyway. So it says here period costs, and then they want to know what they are. And we've got what we need to know about period costs. Period costs are non-product costs. That's what they are. So looking here at the choices, choice A says are selling costs and administrative costs. Well, I'll tell you right now that's the answer. It absolutely is. Because these are non-product costs. These costs impact operating income and they certainly impact net income, but they don't go into product costs. Looking at the other choices, it says are used to compute product costs. No, product costs are used to compute product costs, not period costs. Can be included in overhead costs. Again, this is wrong because overhead costs are a product cost. And then finally, D choice says are carried in inventory until the goods are sold. Well, if something's being carried in inventory, it's a product cost. So we were right. A is in fact our answer. Which of the following would not be a period cost? And they give us research and development, direct materials. Which would not be a period cost? I have to read that again. Which of the following would not be a period cost? So research and development, direct materials, advertising costs, and office supplies. Research and development is going to be a period cost, even though we're trying to come up with a product. The rules state that we have to expense these as period costs because we don't know if we're actually going to come up with a product from research and development. All right, direct materials are clearly a product cost. Advertising costs come after the product. Office supplies is a type of administrative expense. Okay. I'll move through that fairly quickly, but period costs, fairly simple concept to grasp. Period costs are any cost other than product cost. So we've got a little multiple choice question here. It says cost of goods manufactured equals. So basically, what's the formula? And this is kind of the simplified formula, but well, let's just see what we got here. Let's see here. Total product costs incurred during the period plus beginning work in process minus ending work in process. Direct materials costs plus direct labor plus overhead costs, sales minus cost of goods sold, and none of these are correct. So I want to tell you that the answer is here, but the formula, the better formula for cost of goods manufactured is direct materials plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead plus beginning WIP and minus ending WIP. Okay? So this total product costs incurred during the period is this part right here. The rest of these answers are incomplete in some way. With B, we started off okay, but we needed to add the rest of this plus beginning work in process, minus ending work in process. We don't have that. Sales minus cost of goods sold is gross margin, and we really don't need to look at D. All right, let's see what else we have here. It says In July, Greenwood Company purchased materials costing $23,100 and incurred direct labor cost of $19,800. Manufacturing overhead totaled $35,200 for the month. Information on inventories was as follows. Okay, so we've got some materials at both the beginning of the month and the end of the month, and then we've got some work in process beginning of the month and ending of the month, and then finally we have finished goods at the beginning of the month and ending of the month. What was the cost of direct materials used in production for the month of May? Okay, and we have some answer choices right here. So, to answer this question, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to set up the formula for direct materials used. And we looked at this in the PowerPoint video. The formula for direct materials used is simply beginning materials plus purchases minus ending materials. Okay? So we can use the relevant numbers up here and figure this out. This is for the month of July. So July 1st, materials were $68.20. Plus purchases. Purchase materials costing $23,100, and then minus ending materials July 31st, $78.10. So if we take our let me move this a little bit. If we take our beginning materials of $68.20, we're going to add to that $23,100 for our purchases, minus our ending materials of $78.10 is going to give us $22,110. And that just so happens to be answer choice B. Okay, so very, very important here. I want you to notice something real quick before we move on. We say here that the formula for cost of goods manufactured is direct materials plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead plus beginning work in process minus ending work in process, but we have to do a calculation to come up with direct materials used. And this is it right here. So there's a formula for direct materials used. We just did it. Okay. Now direct labor is whatever direct labor is, and then manufacturing overhead is an applied amount. It's an allocated amount. Okay. And the rest of this formula will be correct for cost of goods manufactured. I just want to re-emphasize that now if they just give you direct materials used, then you don't have to do this. Okay. But in this case, they wanted you to calculate direct materials used. And so what we could have done then is we could have actually done this and we could have come up with this 22,110, and then we could have answered the question, what was cost of goods manufactured? We have all the information to do that. However, that wasn't required of the question. They only wanted to know direct materials used. Okay? So let's see what we have here. So it looks like we have the exact same scenario. with a different name for different name of a different company. They're calling it Noel Vang Company here, and up here it's Greenwood. But if we look at the numbers, they're exactly the same. So what was cost of goods manufactured for July? Well, again, the formula for cost of goods manufactured is direct materials plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead plus beginning work in process minus ending work in process. We're going to save some time here, and we're going to say, well, you know what? I just calculated this up here, right? All the numbers are the same. So this component, direct materials, we've already done the work for it. Plus direct labor, and let's see, they're just going to, direct labor is always going to be an amount that is given, 19,800, plus manufacturing overhead is applied at 35,200, plus beginning work in process is $770. Let's see here, I didn't put manufacturing overhead here, and then this is beginning WIP minus ending WIP is 1320. Okay, so we got 22,110 plus 19,800 plus 35,200 for the manufacturing overhead, plus the 770 beginning work in process, and finally minus ending work in process of 1320. It's going to give us our final answer, $76,560. All right, that's it for this video.